something that I haven't talked about here, I don't think yet, but it should be on our minds. And in this whole idea of incrementalism, the state of South Dakota is tossing that concept on its head. They are just throwing it out the second story window.
What concept's that?
Incrementalism.
Okay.
They are the proposal by the leader of the House in South Dakota is to repeal all vaccine mandates in the state and make it a crime to deny entry into any public state institution of any form without vaccine.
Well,
so if somebody denies, then they will.
But then people will only go to the doctor because they want to.
Exactly. At least in South Dakota, if this gets through. So we're hoping that we can get some things picked up there.
Yeah.
With the parental rights and medical marijuana. Yeah. There is a date that we have to mention. I want to mention it now if we can, just because it's here.
Yep.
And that is March 5th.
Okay.
Now, what has happened is a lot of rules and things have failed in the legislature. Mm-hmm. They do not make it through because they are bad bills, and people rise up and speak out, and they don't get through. Well, what we have is a bunch of unelected bureaucrats over at the State Department of Health who are deciding to put through Senator Yen's bill on red tape, bureaucratic red tape for non-vaccinating parents.
Yeah, Tom, you have to sit through a propaganda film.
Correct.
For each one of your kids that says, no, I want to claim religious or philosophical exemption from being vaccinated. So each one of your kids, and then you have to redo it again in their 6th grade. So if you got 4 kids, you got to go through the propaganda films 8 times.
They should do abortions like that. So they show the film of the kid, and then 6 years later, after the kid you killed, they come back and here's pictures.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. This was on Channel 8. They had a story on it, very pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
But what they had was Dr. Cools, and he's the big vaccination guy other than Yen here in the state.
Yeah.
And a pediatrician, and he said the purpose of those particular measures for the vaccinations was to make it more painful or more objectionable to go to the health department than to go to the doctor. So in other words, make it easier on you. Freedom isn't good enough. We've got to make it painful to not go to the doctor and get the vaccination.
Yeah, they're going to slow walk you and run you through red tape in order for you to claim a right.
But on March 5th, that's not the only thing. There's 124 pages of changes to the medical marijuana rules, state rules, to be dealt with on that same day. And this leads into my legislative little tidbit, and that is I would like everybody to look at HB 1201. It's by Tom Gann last year. It's very important because right now rules changes. It passed the House. It's over in the Senate. We may need to give it a little bit of a push. It's a very boring bill. It has everything to do with rules and how these state agencies create their rules and the position of the legislature toward those rules.
Yeah.
Right now, the way that it is dealt with is they create rules and they create whatever they want, and the legislature actually has to send a negative vote, to veto those rules.
Yeah.
Or else those rules stand.
Here's the problem, Tom. Basically, the health department or whatever agency basically plays God, dictator. And then in order for our government that is properly elected, representative form of government, is all of them have to vote to override. Correct. So if they could get just the House or just a Senate committee or the governor to do it, to sustain their dictate remains law. And that just throws the legislative process on its head.
Right.
Correct.
Because
sense.
many times these rules are totally 180 degrees opposite of the intention
Well,
of the
again,
legislature.
again, the rules that we're talking about for both vaccination and medical marijuana have already been rejected by the legislature.
Yeah, so I just want to say, many times the agencies will make rules to kind of flesh out, to some degree you have to do this, what the process is for the agency has to deal with the public, to create an orderly way, and you're snarling at me, which many times he's going to question.
What he means by flesh out is test. It's like the petulant 4-year-old who's testing his parents to see how much he can get away with and pushing the bounds.
Well,
That's
for
what
instance,
that means.
That says you must apply for something in order to do such and such. Well, the agency creates the form and authorizes the form. It's just many times it's a little mundane stuff, but those are rules. They're not allowed to go beyond the statute.
Correct.
And in fact, in the medical marijuana thing, they did initially. And the Attorney General had to say, no, you can't do half what you're doing. Probably not even half. But, so what I'm saying in this is many times these rules that come up in the legislature, it's like, that wasn't our intention at all.
Right. We got a cat.